Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey, I am back on my podcast. I am at Cafe Anyway. What a place! Podcastro Valley-Mont, the last place on earth. It's episode 1575, 1574, 1574. I got a little ahead of myself, but that's okay. It was a stressful ride in this morning to Fremont.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It seemed like all the lights that are usually green were red because idiots wanted to make a left turn, and so
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I had to stop in order to let them make their left turn, and that is why I feel such a burn inside of hate and animosity towards my fellow man. But that's okay because I don't feel it for any woman, because women are great. Women are Sean Health.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
They're great. That's basically it. Because I was basically raised by a woman.
Mike's
and I learned a lot
Daily
about what to
Podcast.
How to handle the world and deal with red lights. A row of red lights. I learned to deal through my mother, who I had a wonderful conversation with on Sunday talking about how we weren't going to watch the Academy Awards. She, because she doesn't like the political speeches. Me, because I am bored with the awards and I don't watch the movies that come out anymore. Because I don't have a crazy artsy-fartsy girlfriend like I did back in the 90s let's go see the piano. I don't know why I keep going back to the piano. I had a nervous breakdown during the Pianist as well. That was a very stressful movie with Adrian Brody in Nazi-occupied Poland. Several people have walked in to interrupt me whilst I was describing these things to you. But while the piano was happening, in the scene where Holly Hunter gets her finger chopped off by not Sam Rockwell, he got the Academy Award. I think it was Sam Neill, the guy from Jurassic Park. Sam something. He cuts her finger off, and that freaked me out. And there's poor little Anna Paquin there. She was a tiny little girl. She got an Academy Award for that, actually. Supporting actress.
And here's today's podcast picture.
At the time, the youngest supporting actress ever to win. I would like to show you the podcast picture, but first I have to say hi to several people who've walked in.
Hello, I'm Matthew. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. Anna Paquin was Rogue in X-Men.
That's right. And she was in True Blood, where she got naked.
Mike Matthews, I think that's supposed to be pronounced naked.
Naked, that's right. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Those were very wonderful, touching movies, but there's so many more that you need to go see, Mike. No, I just need to sit on my Instagram all day and watch all the stories that people make. No, you know what? I actually unfollowed a couple of people because I'm sick and tired of their stories. Like this one girl that I follow who produces podcasts. She likes to show how she's always in pajamas at work. I literally wore pajamas to work, is what she always posts in her stories.
Right? God.
Meanwhile, I'm doing old man things like licking my fingers to turn pages. Hey, it really helps. For years, I saw old ladies at church and in the schools turning the pages by licking their fingers first, and they got their big spectacles on and their bifocals, and they're looking with their bifocals at the bifocling and turning the pages by licking their fingers. And I am now doing it. I'm having to do it because I'm just so freaking tired of trying to use my fingernails. It's not working. So now I lick and get the... And it works. It works. It's also giving me germs. Lots and lots of delicious germs. Ew. You know what? It kind of makes me mildly nauseous. Oh, where did that go? There it is.
It makes me mildly nauseous.
So, I spent too much time over the weekend on my new Xfinity router. Comcast Cable sent me a new router. They said, oh, we got to give you this new modem that's supposed to make, because we're going to send you super high speeds and your current modem's not going to be able to handle it. And since I already stupidly have to rent my damn modem month after month, which is like $11, Mike, why don't you go buy it? Why don't I go do a lot of things? I just don't. I don't know. I didn't know where to go buy it. And then Mike, hashtag, here, I'm typing you right now. I'm sending you a link. These are some great deals. Okay, all right. Okay, so they sent me the modem router, and I installed it, but I've got all these little music playing devices, squeeze box devices that my friend Steve gave me years ago. Squeezebox, Logitech makes them now, and they are cool because they play internet radio stations. They play music that's on your hard drive. Well, when I put the new router in, it created a whole new Wi-Fi network. And so now I have to reconnect. And reconnecting took a long time over the weekend to figure all that out. And then I realized I just wasted my weekend. And then I didn't have time to do my podcast. And wah. But there was a little thing that played. Thank you. And then it just played and it played. Oh my God, what happened there? Something just popped up. That's odd. Hold on just a moment. Oh, okay. Huh. My array vanished. Oddly. My array is the wonderful device. Uh-oh, someone's logged in. User from what? Someone has logged into my computer. This is weird. All right, I'll see what happens there. That is, since this is a company computer that I'm using, they can do whatever they want. By the way, listen to the radio stations that are in the Salem chain in the wonderful state of California, in San Francisco. Okay, I think we gave them a nice plug. Hey, I also got from someone at work that I work for at Salem. He critiqued that promo that I played for you, that commercial I played for you at the end of my show last time. And he critiqued it. And he goes, you know what? The problem is there was no sizzle. There was no sizzle. It didn't have any, that thing with Taylor Swift. He's like, you know what? You should have, instead of all this talk about go to the website, it should have just been Taylor Swift. We're giving away tickets to Taylor Swift in England. And just focused on that. So I really appreciate that critique. Although I kind of didn't understand it. But it made sense. Not really. Hey, Trump tweeted a bunch of stuff bashing the Academy Awards today. And we have the royal tweet decree.
The royal Trump tweet decree.
Basically saying that, and he's always living in this glorified golden age of whatever. And it's always America great again. Back in the day, you know, we were number one in steel. So now I want to put a tariff on steel. Back in the day, nobody lived in the U.S. who wasn't white. So I'm going to make immigration illegal. And so he said, he is saying about the Academy Awards, we don't have stars anymore. No one who's an Academy Awards, it was at the Academy Awards, was a star. I'm a star. That's what he just tweeted a little while ago. But you know what? That's whatever. The stock market, it reacted on Friday. Then yesterday at the beginning of the trading session, it reacted. And then it was fine. Then it went up. But the stock market is a whiny little bee. Not an A, not a C, not a D, but a B. A whiny bee. Bzz. It's whiny. And it reacts to the craziest, stupidest things. But Basil, I was amazed by my dog over the weekend as well. I didn't get to this story on the last show because it was super, super short. But Basil took a stand. I told you about 8 months ago. Oh, I'm sure you remember that show. About 8 months ago, there was a big chocolate lab that was walking along the streets near my house. And this chocolate lab came up to Basil and I and started to try and dominate my dog, Basil the boxer. And my dog turned around and but barked in his face really loud. And it did kind of like, it looked like a bite type thing, but he didn't actually bite the dog. But it was this sort of screaming in the face of this other dog, get the hell away. And the other dog kept coming back towards him. And I was starting to freak out. And Basil's looking at me like, why don't you do something? And I actually threw my water bottle at this chocolate lab. But it still was not doing anything. This chocolate lab kept coming at him. So we had to run home. And that was just a stressful day. And I said, never again. So I run into this chocolate lab again this weekend. And you know what I did, folks? This is what I did. Because I know there's more than one person listening. I'm praying. I'm just praying. I'm full of hope that more than one person's listening. Maybe not. Maybe I hope no one's listening. But here's what happened. No one's listening person is the chocolate lab came up to Basil. And what I did was I let the leash just go limp. Basically saying to Basil, do whatever you want. And Basil, once again, went right up in the face of this dog and did the total rah-rah. And it was interesting because Basil saw, when he saw the chocolate lab from a distance, because Basil has great eyesight, despite what that stupid whitey white guy said at Fairmont Ridge, skinny, lived in my Bay Area all my life, and I wear my stupid safari hat to the park because I'm a Bay Area guy. I don't want to get any sun damage on my skin. Wah, I eat nothing but kale. Stupid freak. Said to me and my dog, hey, your dog probably can't see very well because he's so old, because he's gray. He's not even 10 yet. Now I'm having to say, I'm so frustrated with people asking me, how old's your dog? Yeah, he's 10. Whoa, he's not even 10 yet. Just chill. Anyway, the guy said that my dog couldn't see, and here's Basil seeing things far off. He sees the chocolate lab, immediately knows it's that chocolate lab, and gets down into a haunch position of, haunching down like a sphinx and ready for this dog. And the stupid lab comes right up to him, and Basil, and I have the leash limp, just barks in his face, screams in his face, and the lab backs off. And we continue walking. The lab starts following us a little bit, so I leave the leash limp, ready for Basil to do his thing again, because this stupid lab won't learn. And Basil's like, no, let's keep walking. We keep walking. I turn around, the lab's gone. So, damn lab. Hey, that's pretty much the end of the show. I didn't get to any news. It was a stressful drive into work today. Maybe that's why I am the way I am. But whatever. It was like every stop sign, every stoplight, these little, what's the word? Pissant. Light was red. I understand people got to get to work, but come on, it was so early. There's no reason. And the light that I make a left at in front of the Smoking Pig in Fremont off Mowry, that's the same light. I don't know if you remember, this was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, when I was making a left turn at this light, and somehow someone had a stupid steel fork. Was it made with Chinese steel? I don't know. Not anymore, because we got tariffs. Not yet. But the tire ran over I ran over a fork. So there was a fork in the road. Ha ha. And I had a fork in my tire. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. And it starts to create a leak. Luckily, Discount Tire, America Tire is right there. So I pulled over. But at that same light today, I picked up something, and I'm driving along and I hear the same. I'm like, oh great, what did I pick up this time? What is it with this light? Luckily, it was just a rock had gotten in between the treads, and I just pulled it out. But I'm like, come on, what a crazy morning. Russia mistook a video game for combat footage. The Russian state-run Channel 1 network ran a segment on the country's Defender of the Fatherland Day, and as it was covering some ground attack, it used footage from a game. First-person shooter Arma 3, apparently, if you know what that is. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. Seldom seen shipwreck reemerged from York Beach Sands. A seldom seen shipwreck buried beneath Short Sands Beach in York was uncovered by the rough seas that pounded the shore all weekend from that nor'easter. York Beach. It's near Cape Nedick and the Atlantic coast, Gulf of Maine. North Korea to hold summit in April, South Korea says. North and South Korea will hold their first summit in more than a decade in late April. More tech companies are suing the FCC over net neutrality. They said to whatever pie, Ajit pie, hey pie, no pie for you. Several big tech companies, including Etsy. Yes, Etsy. Get your little macrame hat today from Etsy. Expa, Kickstarter, Automatic, Foursquare, and Shutterstock. They filed a petition. And finally, ex-Trump aide says that he'll likely cooperate with Mueller. And here's a stupid talking head talking about it.
I'm not. Roger didn't do anything. Roger didn't do anything.
Okay. Roger didn't do anything, apparently. A former Trump campaign aide spent much of the day promising to defy a subpoena from a special counsel, Robert Mueller, even throwing down the challenge to arrest me, then backed off his defiance by saying he would probably cooperate in the end. Okay. That's the ex-Trump aide. And that's the end of the show. Oh, by the way, what is that diversity writer? That is inclusion writer. Did you hear Frances McDormand talk about that? And the inclusion writer is basically the way Frances described it backstage isn't exactly what I heard on NPR. It's supposed to be having when you're doing a movie, you have this agreement in your contract saying, hey, whatever we're making here, whatever project, let's try and incorporate let's really represent what America looks like, or whatever country we're talking about. Let's include what the population really looks like, instead of just everybody white or everybody beautiful CW actors and actresses. Let's do that. I think that's the way I interpreted it from the person who actually coined the phrase. They had her on NPR yesterday. That's the end of the show. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster, because that is all about inclusion. That cast, those three people, that completely encompasses with those three people what the entire U.S. looks like. Two rednecks and a guy who makes beer. That's exactly, root beer, right? Isn't it? Huh? I have no new promo to play for you today. No new commercial. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God. What's that in my tire? Damn it.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
The podcast picture is of Basil at Half Moon Bay.